me. Yeah, man. Baragani, Yamani.
I'm stuck in the wall that I can't escape from. All these illegal searches got me going straight dumb. My low guard brother gone, now I'm straight numb. Now I got a bigger gun and extra ammo. Walk around the hood in all black, that's the camo. Brooklyn, where they got us stuck in Vietnam. And the guns are so big when they pop, they sound like bombs. And there's so many gangs, there's no such thing as getting along.
Five-star generals, outlawed criminals. Me, I'm in the middle, dude, chilling like a villain do. My armor, my spiritual, never on my physical. But these dudes is killers, quick to put the steel in you. I come in peace, warm and war, prepared for both. 34 vest, brush your jet before you clear the smoke. Outlaw, rough, rugged, and raw. The highest under God, stay thugging for war. It's a war outside, everywhere we ride. Soldiers fall in line, they salute me. It's a war outside, everywhere we ride. Soldiers fall in line, they salute me.
Outlaw Radio in the building. It's your boy, Big Nail. Oh, booyah. And we just kicking it, man. We really just kicking it today. I got a little something to say, but we just chopping it up right now, man. Y'all get in the mix.
I twist the tree in the wind with the breeze. Ventilating, liberating, innovating as I breathe. The earth, the wind, the fire bring me higher degrees. Combine that flame and the greens. RBG is in my genes. Content, character, matter in my scene. Shatter, chatter, not on my ladder with ease. You don't fight the fight for the be free. I'm mad as I had a ghetto manner for my peace. I talk that talk, my walk gon' repeat. RBG protected and I never meet defeat. Flowers for the dead, machete for the living. Head full of dread to them colonizer children. I said what I said. Grand revolution solution is always building. Destroying, disgracing, degrading all these children. I sway with the technique to revolve and evolve and leave all the meat off and eat off the marrow. Cook you with the heat off the barrel. I hit you heavy like Tassetti cloud of the arrow. High as the voice of 5-spot sparrow. Your ops feast off the beast, you looking like the chattel. I pop like MOP to win the war in every battle. My Umi and my Baba preach Christ peace when younger. I'm old, gon' kill a priest, retribution, all the hunger. Till oppressor lay deceased, they see no peace like Stevie Wonder. Wonder, no wonder.
Don't you ever mention about you want us the champion song. Leave it to the people them, cause you know that when then the people them come out with them a ball for.
These niggas' actions don't match their beliefs. Funny style clowns bow down when register speak. If the shoe fit, then wear it. You can't be a Garveyite, inherit, but at the same time, no merit. Warriors don't put themselves out on Front Street unless they're looking for victory or defeat. Nigga, if you a leader, speak. If you not, shut the fuck up. All these egotistical niggas online trying to build their likes up.
The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. Thanks, y'all. So you are what you are in this world. That's either one of two things. Either you're somebody, or you're nobody.
I am Malcolm X. I am the best. I'm fresh, so God bless. Hold up the list.
Yes, I am the one they call hip-hop, the living proof, coming to you live in your living room. They call it criminal, my activism, so I speak, keep it cash from going back to prison. Reaching out, giving facts to children. Now we gotta stack cheese and get back to business. No, I'm not religious. Came from Shy City where the G's from growth and development was organized in the street. So I'm so ready for war that I would ride in my sleep. My spirit has been aligned with the rhymes and the beat. So when they say I'ma die, then they lie through their teeth. Man, eternally ballin'. I'm alive as we speak. Survive through the heat, so we shine spectacular. Move to the south, cause the south is New Africa. Atlanta, capital city, I call it top city. I speak of self-determination, join me if you ready. We want it and we daily with a warrior culture. Revolutionary summer to summer. Some of the ways to build wealth include a barbershop and a restaurant. There's some land to supply the grocery, to we buy the grocery. Electricians and some people that paint. Locksmiths, then we can build a bank. Then once we build a bank, we can build a military and a school so we can teach the little revolutionaries. And then we need developers. Of course they gon' be scared of us. They fear us currently, and we don't have the urgency to build a nation trading short-term seniority for long-term authority. Put it in the poetry from the griots to people, cause we hope to evoke the spirit of Haiti, 1804. Yeah.
Straight drop key.
Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. 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 Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili.
Fuck you in Swahili, why?
Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili.
I don't even know how to say fuck you in Swahili. If my nigga Roddy was here, then I'm sure that he would teach me, cause I'm African. Happy, nappy headed with some beaties. It feel good just to be me. I don't think no one can beat me. I'm a champion. You would think I ate all of my Wheaties, but I can't eat shit till I smoke up all my Wheaties. High as fuck in my blood, look like the inside of a kiwi. How you major league ballin' when your team playin' pee-wee? Man, you rappers is garbage. Can't believe you getting PT almost through your album in the garbage. It had made me sleepy. That's wasteful. My nephew made a frisbee out your CD. Write my raps down in graffiti, cause my nigga Dollar reading every single last word that my ink pen is bleeding and my enemies is bleeding. So that's why they all retreating, and the ones that stay wanna sign a peace treaty. Had to turn off the TV cause the media's misleading. Got you
Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. 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 Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili.
and I'ma get a Swahili woman to fuck me. Man, that nigga Nayo spittin', write my raps in hieroglyphics like a old ancient Egyptian. There's a message that's encrypted, smoking kush. Like the doctor then offered us a prescription, smoking kush. Like my partner Dollar, goddamn it, we miss him. And your sister doing straight, but she shows so much resemblance every time I see her face. Man, I get to reminiscing way back to 7th grade. We was in the gym spittin', and I knew you would be great. Freestyling some written, and we argue to this day about who flow was the sickest. Everybody makes mistakes, but what he did, he cannot fix it, and that shit was not okay. That was the fuck nigga's intention, so I hope on Judgment Day that the punishment's relentless, cause our family's in pain over violence that was senseless. And as far as his case, I hope this nigga gets sentenced, and I hope he's scared straight and get raped down in prison. If he come back to the A, we'll be right there where he stay, back to back
in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili. Back in Lamborghini, screaming fuck you in Swahili.
I say I write my raps down in hieroglyphics.
Screaming fuck you in Swahili.
You know what I mean? When I say that, I just mean it's a message inside that shit.
I couldn't help but know your pain. My pain? It runs deep. Share it with me.
They'll never take me alive. I'm getting high with my 4-5. Cocked on these suckers, time to die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust, but now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed help me take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb, cause my business blurry. Maybe if they tried to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do? Or be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind no danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why did he die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of the 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. Will I let them be 23 and so much pain?
Yeah. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm gonna come in right here. Man, I'm just kind of just throwing it together tonight right now, man. I'm in a good mood. You know what I'm saying? Outlaw Radio was in the building. It's your boy Big Nail. Oh booyah. And we just chopping it up, man. We just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm up in here doing my thing. I'm just up in here chopping it up, man. Just spinning some tunes. I'm not even really spinning with no purpose for real. I'm just having a good time, man. I'm just out here doing my thing. Hope y'all enjoying it. I hope y'all, hope y'all kicking it. Hope y'all digging what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot going on right now, so I feel like that's probably messing up my flow. But I'm simultaneously testing out a few things, man. One, I'm testing out my streaming capabilities, and I'm testing out my recording capabilities and how to change stuff on the go, switch it up, all that kind of stuff. So y'all gonna see some things here and there, kind of moving in and out, and that's on purpose because we building the ship while we roll it. But shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors. Shout out to Malik Kalam for, establishing the Outlaw Radio lineage from the Jizum. Yeah. Shout out to Matulu Shakur, you know what I'm saying, who kept it on board for us, you know what I'm saying. Kept us motivated and engaged politically, as well as keeping the streets acknowledged, never forgetting about the streets, because we can't forget about them, you know what I'm saying. Asada Shakur, Afeni Shakur, shout out to y'all. Shout out to H. Rap Brown, Ella Baker. We've been shouting out a lot of ancestors on this show, man. So shout out to all of them. Also, shout out to your personal ancestors. Take a moment to shout out your personal ancestors. Shout out your personal ancestors. And that's how we move, man. That's how we move here in Outlaw Radio. I'm just getting, I'm getting reestablished. I'm getting more confident with all of this stuff too, so I can do all this on the fly, which is fun, man. This is like a fun thing. This whole Outlaw Radio experience, doing podcasting, being front facing, really being able to share the talents and skills and abilities that I have personally, being able to tap into the resources that I have access to, which has been a blessing to me this whole entire time, as somebody who has really been working in the movement for a while. So I'm blessed, man. I'm excited. I'm happy. 2026 is here. So if you are looking at this, if you're looking at this and it's not January 1st, then that means that you are looking at this from the future. So shout out to you. We do have a method to the madness for this particular show. We do have a method to the madness. I repeat. We are here because it's important for us to discuss what we're going into in 2026. What's going to be happening in 2026? And really looking at 2025, man, what did we get accomplished in 2025? I know a lot of people during this year were very afraid. Fear was the big thing this year. A lot of people were very afraid about what we're going to be able to do and not do in 2025. I think some of the fear was a little bit, overrated, a little bit too much, in my opinion. Some of it was valid. I think there was some reason to be afraid in some instances and situations. I do think sometimes though the fear clouds the judgment, and when you move like that, you don't get a chance to really get it popping. Hold on, let me get my music back up, because that's what I've been doing the whole time here. Been trying to. Ooh, that came in nice and smooth too, like a D'Angelo song. Oh, hey, ooh. Yeah, that's how I break it down, boy. Like an R&B singer. Girl, I'm an R&B singer. Yeah, and I got you right with my finger. Yeah. Baby girl, I am a gangbanger. And I yeah. Okay, all right, enough of that. But anyway, so yeah, there's a method to the madness. Let me shut this off. I don't need to look at this anymore. I'm like looking at what you all are seeing from your perspective after I've recorded it and streamed it, and it's really entertaining, man. So I'm just trying to crack it up. Anyway, like I said, method to the madness. So we're here talking about we made it. This is the Black State of the Union. Black State of the Union. Let me do this. I'm gonna stop recording, and I'm gonna start back recording. And here we go. Official Outlaw Radio is in the building. Outlaw Radio Podcast. It's your boy Big Nail. Oh booyah. And we just tuned it back in. We had a little mix show and a little bit of the conjecture afterwards. Now we gonna chop it up on the real stuff though, on the real tip. Like I said, this is the year-end finale, man. We made it. We made it. The Black State of the Union. So 2025 was full of a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows. We had a lot go on. Had some people that we lost, some people that we gained. We got some new lives that came to us. So yeah, it was definitely some wonderful stuff that happened in 2025, as well as some tragic stuff. So we're not gonna act like everything was good and everything was bad as well. I think it's important for us to put it all in perspective. So what we wanted to do today is to kind of take a hard look at 2025. What was really that bad? What was really that good? Let me get my music right here. You know I was gotta get my music right. What was really that good? What was really that bad? We're gonna look at economics. We're gonna look at politics. We're gonna look at the Black diaspora, so to speak. Because I know that a lot of times when people look at what's going on, as it relates to reflection on a year, there's always a particular agenda and a perspective that's on display at that point. And I ain't gonna lie, we kind of got one too. Our agenda really is to teach, to motivate, and to inspire. I'm just looking at some stuff here that I got going over my notes because I've been in mix mode. I've been over here getting it in and forgot I had a show to do. But that's what it's like when you hosting, man. It's this is a good experience, man. So shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors, shout out to the ancestors. Shout out Malik Kalam, shout out Tupac Shakur, shout out Tulu Shakur, shout out to South Shakur, shout out Afeni Shakur. Shout out to all of the ancestors that are personal to us. That's for the recording. Now, for us who are here and we tuned in, man, this year has had a lot going on. Project 2025 was a big discussion at the beginning of the year. I was involved in a couple of discussions and debates as it relates to 2025. And Project 2025, a lot of people were focused on what was going to happen with Trump, the Trump administration, and how that was going to affect lives. And I think a lot of people were caught up into that and lost the sight of other things. So a lot of the debates and a lot of the conversations that were going on really reflected people's perspective on Trump. And I think a lot of opportunities were missed when it comes to local organizing, local conversations and discussions to prepare for 2026, but also affirming some connections culturally and socially, as well as maybe some opportunities internationally that we could have missed, could have taken advantage of. However, I will say that we did do some good things. We had some powerful things happen this year. Some affirmations for how we feel about things, and a little bit more skepticism, I think, has come into the game. Part of the issue I was finding at the beginning of 2025 during that election is there wasn't enough skepticism for the political system. Too many people were relying on an election to change their lives. They were truly believing that the Democrats would win and create a particular environment for them to have, or Republicans would win and they would have a particular environment. But the truth of the matter is nobody won. Everybody was upset. Everybody was upset, man. The Republicans, they didn't get what they wanted. They thought they would. Democrats didn't get what they wanted because they lost the election. But they also kind of had to be honest and figure out that they weren't ready to win any elections. And I think this was a good opportunity for the Democrats to reassess who they were. Will anything come of it? Who knows? It's the Democrats. Anyway, so I wanted to look at this episode from a perspective of ledgers. I wanted to split it up and kind of give us a framework of discussing how this year went, just to keep everything organized and not just give you a jumble of stats and things of that sort. And also, too, I wanted to consider all political thoughts in this. I didn't want it to be a situation where, the integrationists didn't feel like we were touching on a lot of their, or enough of their issues. Same thing for cultural nationalists and Pan-Africanists, all alike. Because like I said, this show is meant to help to educate, help to get people to the point where we are empowered. We're here to empower. So just that along, what that means is we don't have the kind of conversations that some other podcasts may have. By the way, make sure you are all a subscriber to the Too Raw for TV platform. Too Raw for TV is definitely a black-owned and operated platform that you have to get involved with supporting, take seriously supporting them. Also, make sure that you all join the Outlaw Radio Patreon. We got a lot more stuff coming on there. We already got a few things coming. A lot of value there for anybody who is interested in political education. A lot of value there. Got a lot of value for people who are just interested in just black politics, period. Really wanting to learn how to engage in our community, do things that we need done in our community, so on and so forth. Patreon, the Outlaw Radio Patreon is the way to go. Check us out. And like I said, there's gonna be some exclusives, some goodies. I have an infograph, and some good information, some good PDFs that you can use for the year for your political education, so on and so forth. But let's get into the game. Enough preamble. Been giving y'all our preamble. So Ledger 1, we talking about economy and work. We're talking about people's ability to obtain and maintain employment. And as we've seen, there has been a lot of instability in the U.S. Throughout 2025. Black unemployment rose to 8.3% in November 2025, which is the highest it has been since August 2021. August 2021, that was right around the end of COVID. So it's getting pretty low. It's pretty bad, actually. The government shutdown halted October data collection, which is another reason why the numbers may be a little bit off, but it also is an indication as well. This government is struggling to stay working, man. And you know, they minimize those stories when they talk to us on the news about it. They talk about the government shutdown, and it's like a footnote. It's really a big deal because if the government is operating, as we saw, a whole lot of things will shut down within our economy. They got to do some extra stuff just to keep the government running. So it's really crazy, man, how they got to work on that. So the lesson that we got to take from what's going on with the jobs and some erasure that's going on, because there's definitely some erasure as it relates to people's abilities. If you are not skilled labor, if you're not tech, if you're not somebody who has certifications, some work experience in a valuable area, it's going to be hard, man, when it comes to jobs in 2026. So we gotta keep that in mind and really consider that moving forward, and not just kind of move like everything is cool, because I think that's what happens a lot of times. Some of us who are conscious minded and oriented with what's going on with Black state of mind and Black consciousness, we often kind of miss out on what's really going on in America, and that affects us 100% because we live in America. So we really got to do better with moving properly with that, man. But even with neutral numbers, when the government stops, Black workers, we pay the price. So all of us who have our good government jobs, and I remember that was like a online thing. They were like, "Oh, my good government job," or everybody was kind of going at Trump because he said something about Black jobs or whatnot. You know, Black jobs, and they were talking all these high-level, high-skilled Black jobs. A lot of those folks lost work too, man. The government shut down, and when some of these cuts were happening with the Doge and all that kind of stuff, yeah, man, a lot of folks lost work. That's how it goes, man. Anyway, moving on, we talk about the housing squeeze. Redfin reported that Black home ownership dropped 43.9% in quarter 2 of 2025. Quarter 2 is like around April through June-ish, which is the lowest since 2021, again around post-COVID numbers. The median age for first-time buyers is now 40 years old. So people's first-time buying homes has gotten up to the age of 40 years old. It used to be as young as 26. I remember when I was younger, that was a big thing where people were talking about, when you get in your mid-20s, that's about the time you want to start looking at a house, looking for houses. And then when I started getting around 26, they were saying, "Oh, you want to get around 30." When I was getting around 30, "Oh, you want to get around 35." But now, they're talking about, the first time buyer median age is 40 years old, which is crazy. That's crazy. The house price hovers around $415,000. That's a lot for a first time home. Which I'm not gonna go into equity numbers and all that kind of stuff because this ain't that kind of show. We could have a study on that if people want to have that. So leave a comment below if you want to have more discussion on equity numbers and how that works in the housing market. Moving on to Ledger 2, we're talking about state and power and state power, the power of the state. And this is specifically kind of leaning more into executive power when it comes to the national view, going back to that Trump conversation. Excuse me. Now, there were a few things that changed. There was some changes going on around here, man. No doubt about that. Definitely a lot of changes. in the way the government is run. We had some changes to some of the government agency names. The Department of, what was it? It's the Department of War now, but it used to be the Peace. I don't know. I don't even remember what it's called no more. That's just it. The Gulf of Mexico was the Gulf of America. Missed that one. The Gulf of America. But seriously, there was a lot of other stuff that happened as well. In terms of the changes that took place during the early parts of the Trump administration. You know, a lot of changes in terms of holidays, how we approach holidays have kind of changed. Some new holidays were given to us. Some holidays have been taken away. Charlie Kirk got blasted. He got shot and taken out the game. They keep saying assassinated, but I mean he wasn't like a public figure where him losing his life really like changed the course of mankind. As much as it's more of like a social thing. That would be like if Jay-Z or Beyonce got shot, or if you know, one of the other famous people that people like got shot. What was it? Whatever. I don't know. I try not to even get mention these people's names when I get on this show because I don't want nobody to take this show and make it what it's not, because I ain't got time for that, man. I really do put in my time for Outlaw Radio to make this provide value. So that's what we're doing. But anyway, I don't see Charlie Kirk as somebody who would have been assassinated as much as he was murdered in cold blood in public while speaking. He was kind of on some hate stuff. It was on some hate, man. Let's be honest about that. Let's keep it 300. But anyway, that happened. There is a Project 2025 tracker that civil rights organizations have been using. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund, ACLU, they use it. But they're tracking how the implementation of the Project 2025 has been going, how it's been dealing with voting rights, abortion access, so on and so forth. I'll let that work speak for itself, because again, we don't take one side or the other when it comes to partisan discussion. And I truly think that even though these issues do strike home and they are homegrown issues, they are partisan issues when it comes to the framing. We're talking about Project 2025. Whenever you frame it that way, you're talking about, you know, it's partisan at that point. It really does. There's nothing you can do about that. You got to take it out that frame in order to make it nonpartisan. You have to really make it about people and not make it about countering an agenda, because the agenda is what it is. I mean, the president is who he is. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you voted for him or not, they are who they are. So you got to figure out how to navigate around that. We got to do a better job of that. Not getting caught up in the rigmarole of how we feel about what's going on. But yeah, make sure y'all check out that Legal Defense Fund Project 2025 implementation tracker. Definitely something that's got to open up your eyes on some things. Let's see. What else happened? Trying not to go too fast on this one. All right, so Ledger 3, we're dealing with identity, repair, and captivity. In terms of repair, when we say repair, we're talking about reparation. Repairing the breach, repairing that which was taken from us. Now, just to add a little context to reparations. Reparations is something that a group of people receive when there has been a long-term wrong done to that group, to repair what was taken away or what's missing. Doesn't necessarily give a value judgment per se, because France was paid reparations from Haiti. Not to Haiti, but from Haiti. France received reparations from Haiti. So did America to a certain extent. But we're not going to go down that road per se. But I will say this, when it comes to reparations, there is a case for it when it comes to black people in America. this whole concept of the ethnogenesis of foundational Black American being what it is, we became who we were under duress because left to our own, we would have either been in Africa or in this native land living in our natural state. Now we are adapting to capitalism, racism, white supremacy. And because of that, we have become a whole different group of people, which has made us a beautiful people, the most powerful people on the planet. But also, too, we got to get that check. You got to run that. We got to repair some of the breach because there is a systematic blockage that has kept the majority of our people from being able to make great strides toward improvement. And we can't accept where we are as the norm. No other group of people on the planet accepts the norm of being below. They're either struggling to come to the level of equality or they're enjoying equality, but nobody's just sitting on below and just like, this is down, it's cool for us. Nobody's doing that. So to expect Black people in America, foundational Black Americans, new Africans to do that, not gonna happen. So reparations has to happen, and there has been some conversations around it in 2025. House Resolution 414 affirmed that the United States has a moral and legal obligation to provide reparations for slavery and its aftermath. So that's something that is on the books, but it's more symbolic than anything else because I haven't got my check yet. You got yours? If not, then we gotta press harder on that one. And I think more conversation around what that looks like needs to happen because it's too broad. Everybody wants to be the leader, the spearhead on how reparations gets handed out, and we gotta do better on trying to figure that out because too many cooks in the kitchen is gonna make the food taste nasty. Just a shout out for the political prisoners. Let me see, Mumia. We lost Mumia. So shout out to the ancestor. We lost H. Rap Brown. Shout out to the ancestor on that one. Asada, she passed away while free from captivity, so we got to give a shout out for that. But yeah, man, it's been a tough year when it comes to our political prisoners. Real tough year. Tulu got out the year before. It was right before he passed away, so he couldn't really enjoy that freedom like that, man. So we got to do a better job with getting our folks free. Ledger 4, we're talking about revolutionary tradition and cultural governance. And just to kind of mention, February 2025, the Alliance of Sahel States adopted a common cultural policy, evidence that culture isn't an accessory. So what that means is the Sahel states, that's Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Those states have literally dropped the borders with each other, and they've become like a confederation. So you can go back and forth between those countries. The economics, from what I'm understanding, is coordinated with the country. So the currency is going back and forth, so on and so forth. I know that I have seen some evidence of everything not being so rosy and cheeky and things of that sort, but that's kind of what happens in Africa, man, especially with the newness of some of this freedom. There's always some room of people going a little too far to the left or to the right. And I truly do. I mean, some people might feel a way about this, but that's part of the reason why the foundational Black American, the new African, the Black American needs to have a bigger part when it comes to the international conversation of Pan-Africanism, because I think some of the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that comes from us and our experience in the world can help to guide some of the issues that we're having with the Pan-Africanist movement and maybe make it a little clearer. So that's that revolutionary tradition that we're coming with, and we're adding to the revolutionary tradition that already exists within the Pan-Africanist movement and making it something great. So that's the idea behind that. Ledger 5, we're talking about Pan-Africanism, diaspora, and sovereignty. And I did mention the Sahel region, the Sahel realignment. The ECOWAS, it's like an economic forum that the African countries were a part of. But Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have exited that as of January 29th, 2025, at the beginning of the year. So those three countries have formed their own bloc, the AES, and later announced plans to leave the ICC and adopt local mercanism. Use the words properly. You gotta know English before you know Spanish like that, right? Mercanism for peace and justice. So they're working together. It's not like it's a coup. It's not like it's some military like takeover and all this kind of stuff. These are actual governments that have coalesced, come together, and kind of made one government. The Security Council report notes that attacks have emptied communities across the Sahel and underscore the need for robust responses. So there have been some things going on locally in those areas that need to be addressed. So that is an issue. I do want to point out too, there have been some issues in Nigeria recently. They allowed the United States to come in and bomb to get rid of some of the terrorist activities going on there. So that's a peculiar thing to keep an eye on. Of course, South Africa is going through what they're going through with Trump. Keep an eye on that. Africa is just, Africa, wake up. Africa is Africa, bro. That's what's going on out there. So Ledger 6 is, let's discuss this 2026 posture. Let's discuss how we're going to move, because we got to move in a way differently from 2025. It's a different vibe this year. This year is more of a, let me see, how can I describe this year? How it feels anyway. It feels like this is kind of like the year that things happen. Like if you've been trying to make things happen, it's going to happen this year. If you've really been working hard and on your grind and putting in that work, if you have been like really committing yourself to something and seeing it through, then you are going to see it this year. So that's what we own, man. That's that's one thing I truly think about this year. And that said, I want to kind of set a precedent for where we should be going in 2026. Just some recommendations. I'm not telling you what to do. This is more of a recommendation than anything else. So study rather than scroll. Invest in political education, because if you invest your time in the algorithm, you are going to get caught up in what the algorithm wants to catch you in. Granted, there are some educational videos and a lot of good information that you can find on Instagram and TikTok in the videos, but you want to curate your own education. You want to curate your own political readiness. So make sure you're studying on purpose and you're making that something that you're doing with intention. Ownership over access. Make sure you are getting that land, man. If y'all see land for sale, buy it. If you see an opportunity to join together and build an institution with your folks, do that. If you can archive what you're working on, make sure you are doing that. Let Us Make Man is actually doing a lot of archiving right now, because this is going into our 20th year? Is this the 20th year? 20th year, Let Us Make Man. So we collecting archives. Anybody who has been to a Let Us Make Man event and you have like some of the pamphlets or booklets, some information, holla at me, man. Leave a comment below or hit me up on an email or hit me up on TikTok or something like that. And let me check it out. Let me see what you got. Institution over moment. So make sure that when we are doing what we're doing, we are keeping in mind that we're trying to build durable infrastructure, and we're not just trying to go viral. We're not just trying to get eyes just for the sake of having eyes, but we want to make sure that when we have eyes, we're saying something productive. What happens a lot of times is people, they have these grandiose ideas, and instead of really working on them and tightening them up, we just kind of put them out there and hope, shit sticks on the wall. But we got to get intentional, y'all, build institutions. Also, man, let's make sure we build a discipline over performance. You can do it like terrific, one great time, you blowing all your energy, and then when you need to do it again, you don't even have what you need to do it. So let's get more disciplined about how we moved. Some focus would help with that discipline, making sure that we are stacking our focus and our discipline so that we can get things done effectively and we're not overexerting ourselves. Archive over algorithm. Again, make sure that you are documenting our history. Make sure that you are documenting our struggles, and pay attention to documentaries that come out. I recently saw a documentary about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I think it was like a series. It wasn't like a whole documentary per se. It was more for entertainment purposes. So, they had to take some liberties. And I feel like they kind of took a few liberties too many. Took a little bit of the lesson out of the person and made the people more of just like, it's almost like they made a movie about like Whitney Houston or some of these people they've made these movies about who are no longer with us. They just kind of made the movie and just threw it on the film, and I don't know about that. I'm debating on whether or not I want to do a review. I would have to watch the whole thing to do a review, so I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway, we made it, y'all. We made it through 2025, man. And I know it kind of sounds like, man, you sound like you about to fall over when you say we made it. But we did. We made it. It was a lot going on this year, man. We made it. And I do want to kind of give a final word, closing point when it comes to where I want us to think about going into the new year. All right, going into the new year politically. If you feel like this episode is a little bit heavier than our usual conversations that we have, that's on purpose. We meant to do that. We meant to do that because we're normally trained to react to moments, stuff like elections, headlines, crises, but power doesn't really move and transfer in moments. It moves in systems. And I've said it a few times in other shows talking about systems, but systems are things that we need to build in order to make things perpetually continue to build on and on. Systems leave patterns. Systems are repeatable. And those patterns are what we call ledgers. These particular ledgers that we talked about today, I just want to kind of set a tone and a pattern for discussion moving forward, because I want us to really get clear that this is political education that we're doing here. If you tune into Outlaw Radio to be entertained, I hope it's entertaining to you, but that's not what we're here to do. So the edutainment value is what we're working on providing here. This season finale isn't really telling you what to think. It's really more about showing you the terrain on how to think clearly, on how to organize your thoughts when it comes to the Black reality. In the year ahead, we're slowing it down a little bit. We want to go a little bit deeper. And each ledger that we talked about today deserves its own space. So we're going to take each one of those domains of power and break them down, not to beat a dead horse, but we really want to dig into what we really mean when we talk about these ledgers. So listen to this episode again so you can really kind of hear what we're saying. And stay tuned to what's coming up in season 2 for Outlaw Radio. This was just season 1, of course, the end of 2025. We're gonna really jump right into this thing, man. If the episode really raised more questions than answers for you, that's a good sign. That means that curiosity abounds, and it's the beginning of true political literacy and literacy in general. So whether this goes viral or not, this won't be the last time that we're here at Outlaw Radio. So we appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you supporting, sharing, liking, subscribing, supporting, all that good stuff. We live on the stolen government on stolen land, so we speak stolen language. Outlaw RBG Zalu. And we up out of here, up out of there.